What's up, matzo balls? It's me, Greg. Oh man, I'm having some bubbly water. It gets in the brain. You know, Andy, you ever have that? It ever cross the line, get in your brain?
Just with what's up, matzo balls, and then oh man, you got to assume every audio listener was like, I guess Greg's the only one here. Like, oh man, I'm just sitting here alone. I'm just hanging out.
I'm waiting for everybody else to show up for the podcast. No, don't worry. All your favorites are here. All right. The island of misfit toys is packed to the brim with one-eyed Bettys and three-toe Billies.
One-eyed Billy and three-toe what?
Betty.
One-eyed Betty, three-toe Billy. All right.
Three-toe Billy. Yeah.
Andy, that's a shirt. Make it right now. What's up, everybody? This is the Kinda Funny podcast. You made it. I'm one of your hosts, Greg Miller, alongside the producer/seducer, Nick Scarpino.
Are one-eyed Betty and three-toe Billy, are they brother and sister?
Oh, yeah. You know it.
Okay.
God, siblings are dating. Andy Cortez,
I'm sorry.
kind of funny.
Yeah, Andy Cortez has a question.
I want to have extra questions onto that. When you say three-toed Billy, does like because you think about it, you have 5 toes on each foot. Yeah. So is it only?
Yeah. No, he lost. He lost 7 toes. He's got the big toe. He's got the big toe on his right foot, and just the 2 left ones on the left.
That's right. Kevin. That's right, Kevin. That is right. That is right. He's only got 3 toes, and they're spread out like that. Of course, Andy Cortez from kindafunny.com is also known as the Hispanic heartthrob Texas treat Latino heat, clicking heads and ripping them to shreds, the globe-trotting, head-shotting nitro rifle from twitch.tv, Andy Cortez.
Pleasure to be here, Greg. Absolute honor to be here with you.
Your shot looks different. Is it closer today? What are you doing? You got something going on here?
Is it?
Let me see what's happening over here.
I don't think so.
Let me make you a little bit bigger on my screen.
Yeah,
there.
it looks like maybe you moved your camera a little bit more to the right.
Whoa, no, that's too far. That's too far. Because like now your head's bigger than it is in real life. Because I'm on the widescreen and I have you expanded because I wanted to look, and then look at there you are.
There you are.
Well, do it again.
You can see every one of them pores.
Because like for the record, that's how wide your head is right now on my screen.
Okay,
that's a big old Andy head. You know what I mean?
Got it.
So Andy, do you want to talk about? Oh, there it is. He's got more of his little.
I don't want it.
I love it. I love this.
I never wanted to be king. I never wanted it.
So
it's great because the color of Jon Snow's skin is just so pale compared to you. It doesn't match at all.
Well, no, I'll tell you what.
I
I made some modifications to the lighting setup I have. So this light giving me a little bit more yellow light, a little bit more of the warm tones here. I kind of vice versa flipped it.
I get it.
Vice versa.
Andy, now before we go any further, I'd like to address something that happened yesterday. I want to glimpse inside your mind, and if you know the natural comedian you are, possibly the comedian of our time. So lately, we've been getting a lot of P.O. Box stuff. All the popular Kinda Funny people have been getting P.O. Box stuff. And so yesterday, Jen and I drove around and delivered stuff to all the people who are popular. So like we went to Kevin's house, we went to Tim's house, went to Andy and Barrett's house, went to Fran's house even.
Wow.
Just dropping off. I went to Blessing's house, of course. Just dropping off things people had sent to all the popular members of Kinda Funny.
Yeah, the funniest of them all.
I missed the text message. I must have.
No, it's just hilariously you didn't get anything. No one sent you anything to the P.O. Box. It's fucking weird, dude. You know, even Joey got stuff.
That's crazy.
We're one step away from then sending my mom stuff at the P.O. Box. Anyways, I hit up Andy and I was like, hello, and this is the form message I sent out to everybody. Hello, this is the Kinda Funny postal service. I have a thing for you, either from a fan or PR. Will you be home between 2 and 3 to receive it? Also, please remind me of your address. Andy responds, yes, thank you, and then gives us his address. So I'm puttering all around San Francisco, tossing these things out to all the popular Kinda Funny members.
Puttering, pattering around, yeah.
You know, the ones with fan bases that everybody really loves, all their shows.
Yeah.
And like there was stuff for Snowbike Mike. I got to mail to Tahoe now. It's weird. You know what I mean? Alana had a bunch of stuff.
Wow.
Anyways,
Alana, she was,
I have
like a bad habit. That's okay. Keep giving her stuff.
So I had Jen. She was, in the seat. I'm like, can you text Andy? He's next. And I said, give him ETA 10 minutes. So Jen types in ETA 10 minutes, and then Andy responds, fuck yeah, and then in all caps, nice man. And we laughed about it for the 5-minute ride that it
Nice
took from there
man.
on out. Fuck yeah, nice man.
I
Like,
was excited. I was excited to know what
you're
it was
excited.
going to be.
What was it? I don't even know what it was. Do you know what it was?
Oh, it was gifts from our friends at 6-1 Indie, formerly Kinda NYC.
Sure.
They do some merch of theirs. Now I'll tell you what, I haven't opened the merch yet because it was a box the size of an Amazon box, and you know me, I gotta be in a million places at one time, right?
Man,
I
got a
got
dance card.
I got deals over here. I got book deals. I got deals over here and more book
Contract
deals,
negotiations too. A lot of contract negotiations last
constantly.
week.
Yeah. That's why I was really late to last Tuesday's stream.
Oh, it's funny. I heard you slept through it. That's what I heard.
No, me and Tim were dealing with contract negotiations. Yeah. But anyway, I get this box from them and it has at least 17 layers of tape around it.
Mm-hmm.
And I get through one of the layers and then try to flip it open, realize that there's just too much tape to do the forceful pull. And so I kindly put the box in my closet and got back to watching The Expanse. I will get back to opening it. This sounds like a very disrespectful thing. I'm sorry. It sounds like very dismissive. But no, I actually wasn't watching The Expanse. I was something else really, 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 really important was happening. Anyway,
You watching football?
That's my story.
I've
Good
been up
football
against,
game.
dude, when you go up against that tape, that just extra layer of tape, you're like, and you think it's going to be a clean tear, but then you don't get all of it. You're like, I don't need this today.
It's scary. Yeah.
I just hate when they use the packing tape that has that smell to it.
Oh,
you know,
the smell.
the cheap packing tape where it's like, why? What the hell is that?
I tell you guys a story.
Smell.
Me and Kevin, when we were packing up boxes for the studio, every roll of tape we bought just wouldn't stick. Like it was like we would put it on the box and then we'd look over and the box, like a fucking ghost, was coming out from it. We just open up slowly and we're like, well, there was tape on the fucking thing.
Now, this brings me to an interesting question for the group here. Of course, rounding out the quartet, Forbes 30 under 30, aka the second best Baby Blues in San Francisco, aka he's wearing a very nice T-shirt that I can't identify. At Tim Gettys.
It's Ruby.
Oh, I know.
Oh, wow, that's
Ruby,
a nice
Ruby
shirt.
Pride shirt. I love it.
It's a really
That's
nice
cool.
shirt.
That's a beautiful.
I want to give a shout out to you before you go on too far, Greg, for just the opening where you called us all matzo balls. It that wasn't something you planned for. That wasn't something that you were ready to do.
Yeah.
We heard you crack a second before you did it.
No,
And I don't know if the audience got to hear that too, but it was during the little dude. And right at that final death, we just hear Greg go and then just get into it. What's up?
Now here's the thing, and the answer may surprise you. Do you know why I started laughing there?
No, Greg.
Because I had the split second decision of I'm like, you know what? Let's get into this. Let's have everybody strap in for a real kind of podcast. You know what I mean? Where we're falling and you open up the parachute and all it is tin cans. I was like, that's the kind of podcast I wanted. So I was gonna say, what's up, fuck faces? And then in the last second, it was like a pump fake, Andy, where I was like, oh wait, you said that before. Like, what else? What can you say that sounds like fuck faces?
Matzo balls. That sounds just like it, Greg. Sounds just like it.
What's amazing about Greg is Greg's like a
Out of the
storm,
park.
right? Where you hear the thunder first before you see the lightning. And that's
you have an idea of the energy you're gonna get for this podcast.
You hear the laugh first, that wheeze first, and then you're like, it's coming. It's coming. And then he says it. And Greg, this is absolutely a compliment to you.
Sure.
The laugh beforehand is always as funny, if not funnier, than whatever's going to come afterward.
Yeah,
because we all can't. It's like giddy with anticipation. What's he going to say? Is it going to make any sense whatsoever?
Well, because it's always an adventure. You know that it's either going to be making fun of somebody or something completely out of left field, which is 99.9% of the case.
Yeah.
In this case, we had matzo balls, one-eyed Betty, and three-toed Billy is what we got on that one.
And then tin cans from a parachute.
2021, kind of funny.
I'm not, tooting my own horn here or anything, but it's rare that I surprise myself. And one-eyed Betty and three-toed Billy, they snuck up on me. That's one of those where I do scare myself. What am I? That's like, you're sleepwalking, you look down and you have a knife in your hand, you're holding it by the blade. That's where we're at right there. You're like, fuck, this could have been Portillo, We've all been there.
A lot to unpack in that.
Holding it by the blade, he said.
The blade.
Kevin, what's the scariest thing you've ever done when you sleepwalk?
I don't I don't sleepwalk. I don't really want to get into the things I do when I sleep, though.
Well, now I need to know. I need to know. You know
just
what I mean?
Guys, do the math. Don't question things. Just let it happen. Whatever the nastiest thing imaginable is, it's probably some variation of it.
Why do I think of moose for some reason? And
I don't know.
I don't know.
It might be similar, but it might not be. We just don't know.
Do you guys do a lot of sleep talking?
No, but the other day I had a nightmare. And I apparently said something. Yeah, I don't normally have nightmares.
No, do you help me?
We're living. No, I can't remember what I said, and I just remember waking up to my wife, to Dee, being like, "You okay?" I'm like, "What? Did I just scream?" And she was like, "Yeah, you did." It was one of those like, "Oh, I remember it. I remember exactly what happened." It was the weirdest fucking thing. I was like, in a normal setting, it was a great dream. I think there was Starbucks. I was like, everything's going great, and I opened a door. Andy, like, you would go into one of the houses in Warzone, like Verdansk house, right?
Okay,
where it's kind of dark for a second, and your eyes need a second
to
adjust.
A while to adjust.
And what is the horror series with the little kid with like the black eyes and like the mud that comes? Maybe The Ring? The Grudge. The Grudge kid just popped out at me, and I went, "Ha!" And then the next thing I know, my wife was like, "Wait, what just happened?" And I'm like, "I don't know. I was in a Starbucks 1 second.
And then the Grudge kid was there."
You know how we play Warzone, babe?
Had a dream I went 0-14 in the Warzone. That's what happened. That's when it was the nightmare right there. See, what I appreciate for a good dream is the jump awake, or like when you actually move. Like, I don't like it or anything, but when you have that, like you're falling and you do that, like you like do that to wake up.
I hate those.
That happens all the time.
I hate doing that, but recently I don't necessarily talk in my sleep, Kevin, but I will have the moments of just making a noise that I guess is kind of talking, but like there aren't any words that you can really make out. It's just me going like something like that.
Sure,
and sometimes I'll wake myself up and kind of be like, "Oh God, I just said something in my sleep and I don't really know why. I don't know what the context was, you know."
When Jen will snap awake or still be in between it, and she'll talk in French. And I think that's adorable. And I have no idea. She'd be talking shit about me. That could be how the nightmare's going. I'm not sure.
She's like, one day soon. It's like a countdown. You don't know. It's like she wakes up and it's 14 days. The next day it's 13 days. You're like, what's coming? I don't know. I don't speak French.
Until we got to like 8, maybe 9, then I would understand it was numbers and we're counting down.
Yeah.
You got even beyond 10 is where because you start when you get up in French. That's when my brain starts switching over to Spanish, and it's just you're ocho, and you're like, wait, that's not right.
No, that ain't right.
You know, and you got to bring it back down like that. We.
Wait, is we a number?
No, we's yes. I was telling Kevin yes.
But wheat is HUIT.
I want to know. This is what I want to know. What's Jen doing back there? What's she doing back there?
She's counting in 10 now. But see, there we are. We're up to Dees. That 10. I knew that part. Yeah. All right. Kevin, while we're going through text messages, I would like to ask you about this as well. Again, if you're just joining the podcast late, maybe yesterday, all the popular people at Kindafunny got packages, and I drove around San Francisco giving them to them. And then I also made my favorite coworker cookies, and that was Kevin. And so I texted him. I said, "Are you around for cookies/game delivery today?" And Kevin said, "Oh yeah," in like 45 minutes. And I said, "Oh, I need to bake them, so it'll still be a bit. I'll keep you posted." To which Kevin said, "Tight." Then he followed up with this: "When you come by, are you just going to drop it off and go, or do you want to come up and have some cheese?" And so I would like to know, Kevin, was the wine implied that there'd be wine with the cheese, or was it just going to be? Do you have a hunk of cheddar?
Here's the thing. One thing I'm really proud of is my cheese platters. Okay, they're very good.
Is this something Is this a skill you've been kind of growing over quarantine, Kevin?
No, I've been doing this before. Yeah, I've been doing. Tim's had it. We also do truffle popcorn sometimes, like they do at the what's this one spot?
Elmo.
Yes, Alamo. That's right. Go ahead, Nick.
That was the Game of Thrones stuff you guys did, or you used to do a watch party where you would do charcuterie boards and like cheese boards.
Yeah,
right?
I do a lot of watch parties with charcuterie boards. We would do also the Shameless with Gia. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh.
Yes, Nick.
No, my next question. We're doing a watch along Thursday. What Wednesday?
13th.
Signs for my birthday. Are you going to have a cheese board in my honor?
I mean, honestly, the reason why I was like asking Greg is because I wanted to get one, and like Paul's like, "Oh, it's too much. Don't get one." But if like I'm like, "Oh, they're gonna come by. We might as well offer some cheese and wine." Yeah, it levels out.
That's nice.
Yeah.
I will say whenever the few times I've gone over to Kevin's house, he's very hospitable, and it is a very warm and inviting place, and it smells good. I just wanted you to know that, Kevin.
Thank you. That last
I think
part
Kevin
means
has a lot of pride. I think Kevin has a lot of pride in
the fuck's that supposed to mean?
in making a place look kind of presentable and
Sorry, Andy. Thank you for the compliment. Thank you for the compliment, Andy. I just saw an opportunity to like be overly aggressive.
I love that. I love that. No, but I think Kevin, has a lot of pride in making a place look presentable, and Kevin's a very neat and clean person. Like the amount of times that he would walk by my desk within my first 2 months of working, kind of funny, and be like, "What's this? We gonna do something about that right there?" And then I had to ask him, "Please stop doing that."
It's really annoying.
It's just
Nick,
the mind
you do it
of
too. What are you talking about?
Oh
Nick,
no!
you're
Remember
the
Kevin when I
exact
said,
same
"Hey,
way.
remember we had that conversation outside where I was like, do you think if I cleaned everyone's desks, they'd be offended?"
And I said
you were
yes.
Like, yeah, I do. I really think they'd be offended if you just randomly clean their desk. I was like, all right, cool.
I would take it.
We had to. Didn't we make like a policy to be like, all right, guys, you have to stop leaving like fucking cups and mugs in your on your desk.
Well, the problem with Andy's desk was, if you guys remember in the old studio, now it's the old studio, it's not sad. Is that Andy's trash can was the place everyone threw things away because it was like on the way to the kitchen or on the way from the kitchen. So it was always like, by the time you realized you had to throw something away, you were just right by Andy's desk.
No, I don't think that was like, Andy's. Like, I think that was just you being an asshole.
No,
right?
I think
no. I definitely would leave the studio with trash and be like, oh, close enough, and toss it in Andy's problem now.
and sometimes it would get over full. There would be an overflow, so you would kind of like have to find ways to strategize around it. So by the time I'd know it, it's like, God damn, I can't put trash in this trash can underneath my thing. But my desk was also the default drop off a mug of whatever and leave it there because I forgot it there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, because we all like talking to you, A. And B, I came up with just a great idea right now, Andy's. Everyone else close your ears. Andy, you're at the new studio. No, Andy, you keep your ears open. You need to put one of those little nets on top of your trash can like they do, so like birds can't land on it. So when people try to throw trash out, it just bounces out back onto the ground.
That only hurts Andy. If I toss my fucking Starbucks cup there and it bounces out, I walk away. It's not on me anymore. I gave it the old college try. That's on Andy,
That's very true.
As long as I'm not near a heavily trafficked hallway.
How close do you want to be to the bathroom this time around?
Yeah.
I don't.
just so you know, like the way we're planning things, kind of everyone's going to be near everything.
That's fine. That's fine. It's just that when activities would happen in the restroom, I was first affected by them.
Yeah,
you hit the gas hit you first, huh?
Yeah.
You got caught in the gas.
They would hit me first, and to where we had to make the rule of close the door, open the window.
Yeah. Turn the lights on so the fan goes. Wait a couple seconds.
Yeah. Just let it air out in there a little bit.
The new studio, thanks to the way it's been designed, fingers crossed, should have 2 bathrooms and they'll be tucked away with a little bit of a wall. So, you'll be able to kind of get eyesight on them, but I don't think it'll be too crazy for everyone.
Also, they'll vent like to the outside and there's no like windows close to that area that like lead to the inside.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it should be good. There are no hallways though. I mean, it's just going to be kind of an open area where, we all can just rebel rouse together and probably
a lot of
turn everyone against him. Greg Miller from Kindafunny.
Yeah, for the desk setups at the new office, is it going to be possible, like the one time where I crawled underneath Joey's desk and grabbed Andy's pant leg and freaked him out? Because that was like one of my favorite memories.
It's definitely going to be possible.
Now, yeah, it's definitely going to be possible. Right now, we were talking about potentially grouping the desks to give everyone a little bit more space and have a little open feel to it. But if you'd like, we can bring in one of those 1980s coffin boardroom tables and have you sit at the end of it. And then when we look over, you just disappear and we don't know which one of our legs is going to get touched next.
Yeah.
Is that what
that sounds great.
I just remember looking underneath the desk and seeing a fucking Sasquatch-like figure.
And I was your boss. I'm your boss. God, that's the workplace I chose to make. Yeah. You know what I want to do? I want to just have free reign to crawl under people's desks and grab their legs.
Why not?
You can't put creativity in a box, Greg. You
can't. You know what I mean?
Can't put it under.
You know what? You can't put it in a box. Greg Miller.
MeUndies.
He's been in a box before when Andy.
That's right. He scared Andy.
Right.
That was really good. That was a great memory.
I wish. You know what I want for this whole episode? For us to just talk about the episodes and then it cuts to those moments. Whenever we're talking about how The Office looks back on their memories or whatever. There's always the shows that have the callback where it's just kind of a clips show. It's a review show in some ways. I'm thinking of, Family Guy. They're sitting around. Remember when this happened? And it cuts back to an episode of like season 2. And I guess The Office is mainly what I'm thinking of all where Nick, if you don't remember, because you never watched the show, but Toby is suing is kind of like suing the I think Michael Scott of the whole place. He's the HR guy that everybody hates, and he's the one often most harassed. And they're asking him, was there anything that Michael did that may have annoyed you in certain ways? And he's like, and then that's where the clips begin. And I would like to do that here. If we can get like a really good edit down of Greg, what are or Andy, was there anything that Greg did to annoy you? And I'm like, not really. And then it cuts back to all the videos of Greg recording me from across the studio, laughing and being like, look at this piece of shit. He doesn't know. He doesn't know. And then all the dance videos that you would do before I would enter the studio.
Sure.
Yeah, I think about those often. The video I think about the most, and it's just something that it doesn't really live any there. Maybe that's a place. Maybe it now will live on the new Kindafunny Plays YouTube channel, is the one where Kevin shaved his beard and surprised us.
Wait, there he is. Now he's back.
We're waiting for Roger. Roger's popping in. Oh,
Roger, hey, it's Greg Miller. How are you?
How are you doing?
Good. Andy has requested that this episode of the Kindafunny podcast be a clip episode where we call things out and then the clip plays.
So you just have to know where they are. Yeah.
I'm going to need you to just figure out where all the clips are and then also just do it live right now if you can. Just put in the edits you would make.
Yeah. Not only that, but we're planning on going for 7 hours, so please be diligent.
I don't even know on what platform or device is the one where I grabbed Andy's pant leg from under the desk. But I'm going to need you to find that.
That's probably an Instagram story that no longer exists. So we'll have to recreate that, Roger, if you can get under your desk and play both roles.
There's also the one on Twitter where Greg, you surprised me with the hacky sack.
Right.
And that was one of those moments where, like, so you know what I mean, Roger, like, we're not necessarily calling out, play the clip here. It's one of those shows where we're like, remember when Greg surprised Andy with the hacky sack
episode?
Oh yeah. And then it just fades in. Little cross dissolve.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
Remember, we called it footbag too. So if you're using search terms right now, as I'm sure you're working hard to get these clips pulled up, you can look for footbag Andy Greg internet and you'll find it.
Like, right, that was when we decided to, for no reason, piss off the creator of hacky sacking.
Everybody who ran the Footbag Hall of Fame, the Football Hall of Fame.
Did we piss them off?
I know. Yeah, we definitely did. We definitely did.
That one guy who we read about, like, who dedicated his life to footbag when we were trying to get Andy into the Footbag Hall of Fame.
You're trying to piss him off
popped
again.
up and he was like, "What's all this talk about footbag?" And me and Andy were like, it's like when somebody yells at you and we just like walked away. We never engaged with the tweet. We just walked like, oh shit, they're actually paying attention to what we're doing.
Yeah, I was kind of scared. Go ahead, Nick Scarpino.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong though, but you guys, nobody likes the flashback episodes of these shows, right? These were designed to be like minimal effort of filming and then just reusing footage from the old episodes.
That's what Kindafunny is. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but like, it was only a matter of
better
time.
than that old Up at Noon show where we just straight up shot an empty chair.
That was a great episode. That was genius.
Whole episode.
That was
we
genius.
Just uploaded it.
Nick Funny.
I'll tell you what. That's when IGN had no rules. They had balls.
Edge,
all right, they didn't care. They didn't care how much money they burned. They didn't care how many fucking sponsors they let down. That's what I'm talking about. Just film an empty chair. That was hot. That's when I went to Poe's wedding.
That was great.
It all goes back to Poe, you know.
If you watch all hour of that, you hear some comic gold in there. There's
a lot of it. Yeah. Drucker came in. He whispered.
Are you all in the background, just kind of like talking? I don't remember this.
I believe Greg said. I think we shot it beforehand, and you gave an intro and said, "I got to go to this wedding." So, and we don't. We were like, an episode.
We're like 14. I was like, it was like episode 14 or something. I'm like, the show can run itself by now. And so it was just like it started. Then I left the desk, and then the chyrons for the jokes just kept coming up. And then it cut to Brian where Brian should have been. And it was just a green screen and it had his bug. And then it cut to a fake interview and it did the cuts between the empty chairs. But while this was happening, it was like Nick was directing and then Drucker would walk in and be like, we can't. Why are we doing this? Why? And Nick's like, we have to do it. We have to let it happen. And then Brian would come in and yell at him too and stuff like that.
Well, I think at one point it was like the joke became Drucker was like, because Drucker would always joke about like he was going to get fired all the time. Then it turns out he left us, like dropped us like a sack of potatoes.
Right. Yeah.
But he was like, I think we should. I think Greg's doing an okay job. He's doing an okay job, but And so it was like jokes like that where we were just messing with, giving each other shit and stuff like that, whispering. It was fun.
I'm checking here. You said you thought people don't like that. And looking through the live chat, yeah, Cameron Kennedy writes, I can't stand those episodes, so we'll stop. If you didn't know, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Kind of Funny podcast each and every week. 4, sometimes 5 best friends gather around these microphones, coming to bullshit about whatever it is going on in their lives and they want to bullshit about. If you like that, you can head over to patreon.com/kindafunny, where you can be a part of the show. You can write in with your questions, your topics. Of course, you can watch live, just like the Lou is, Madeline is, P.S. We is, Joe Mertens is. Of course, when you're watching live, you get to watch live. You get the show ad free. You get it with the exclusive post show we do each and every episode. Remember, there's now 2 Kind of Funny podcasts a week, thanks to your support on youtube.com/kindoffunny, roosterteeth.com, and podcast services around the globe. I have not opened my email in about 3.5 hours. So let's check, because I believe we had been talking about having I'm opening the emails. See if there's a confirmation here. There's not. Remember, we're still trying to make it so it's Austin Creed, WWE superstar, Xavier Woods on Thursdays, Kind of Funny podcast when we record that live. I do not have final confirmation on that, though. So hold your breath, see what happens, and we'll get there in the end. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you about some Patreon producers. We have Patreon producers Kieran O'Donnell, Steve Powers, Julian the Gluten-Free Gamer, Alexander Knoxell, and Bill I.M. You can be like them and support us on patreon.com/kindafunny. Today we're brought to you by youtube.com/kindafunnyplays, but I'll tell you about that later. For now, let's jump right into it. Tim,
how many toes do you think Bill has? Bill I.M.
11.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he's got an extra.
Wow. Overcompensating. Okay.
Do you think that he's got 3 of the other Billy's toes just like kind of streaming around his neck or some shit like that?
How did 3-toe Billy lose the other 7 toes? The world doesn't know,
Can I tell you something, Greg? You just made me very nostalgic for. Your voice went high for a second there. You're like, I don't know what the thing is.
Yeah.
Remember the days we used to film Oreo Oration, because you would do the McElroy dip and 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
And then you would eat, and that eating sound, Tim, is now synonymous with me also being able to eat Oreo cookies, and that made me happy. Just
because we'd always get the leftovers. We were disgusting,
off camera, like.
No, you don't even know. There would just
so
be
nasty.
a plate with just so many different types of Oreos on it, and we would just take little doggy bags home, and it was the best.
Andy,
it was the absolute best.
At the time, I would drop Tim off and pick him up. So he would just be like, you want Oreos? And come out with a gallon-sized bag full of Oreos. And I'd be like, fuck yes. And then I would just go to
It was
town.
great.
Yeah.
It's just one of the work benefits, right? Like, you got to work here and do this extra. You're not going to get paid for this segment, but free Oreos.
I mean, it's not the worst.
Some people took. Yeah, you know what I mean?
They got pizzas, too. I never got a leftover pizza.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Those were back in the days, yeah. When I got my first YouTube payout of $100, I turned to Colin, Nick, and Tim like, all right, you guys want to break this up? And Tim and Nick were like, you can just keep buying us pizza when we come over. That's worth way more money than the $25 I would get right now. So just keep it. I'm like, all right,
it was a good deal.
You had your chance. Do your thing.
Good deal for us.
It was a good deal for us. It was a good deal. So anyways, Tim.
Yes.
What do you want to talk about?
I want to talk about a struggle I've been having in my life. And that struggle is trying my goddamn best to be some type of healthy in some type of way. Gia Harris bought a Peloton
Peloton bike.
The treadmill.
A treadmill.
Yeah. Which, like, for those that don't know, it's a workout program. She used to go to Orange Theory, which is a workout class where you go and there's instructors that kind of tell you what to do. And you go every day and you pay a ridiculous amount of money, but then you look good. That's how that works. But with this whole Corona thing, obviously she stopped doing that. Most people stopped paying for gym memberships because you can't go. So a lot of that has turned to people doing like at-home solutions. So we got this treadmill, which has a screen on it, which I'm all about, obviously.
Giant screen. It's fucking cool.
It's fucking cool. But you pay the subscription service and there's instructions. Greg Miller, what's up?
I have only seen the Peloton bike. Is there an image of the Peloton treadmill we could see, Kevin, that would explain a little bit? Because is the bike as the instructor? Like, I'm interested to see what's the instructor telling you while you run?
Dude.
So that's the thing is on the treadmill, there's 2 dials, one on the left, one on the right. On the right, it's speed, and on the left, it's incline. So you'll do the different classes, and they'll be like, okay, cool. Now we're going up to incline 4. Stay here for a minute, and now we're gonna we're staying in incline 4, but we're gonna put the speed up to 10 or whatever. And like, there's a cool, you did it. Now go back down to 5 and like have a little rest. Andy Cortez, what's up?
Is there a way for Peloton lady or man on the screen to say, or to kind of override your treadmill?
No.
So you're manually controlling everything.
Yeah.
This isn't even it, is it, Tim? Because your screen's bigger.
Yeah, this is the small version. But so a bigger version they needed a big one because me. But Gia would have been fine with the little one. But she was like, I'm gonna get the bigger one to try to entice you to try this shit. And I was like, I'm gonna fucking try this shit. It's gonna be hard, but I'm gonna do it. But to answer your question, Andy,
you lights all over it.
Of course. Yeah, that's the one. So there's a big screen, and then there's just all these programs, and there's live programs. So that's like there's specific times you can come and actually watch instructors in real time doing it, and they'll talk to the chat and like shout you out and like give you high fives and shit. Like it's like Twitch but working out. I don't know why anyone in their right mind would ever want to do that.
Wait, so this is live?
Oh yeah, they can see your name like it's like a Zoom call. If you
Holy shit! I thought it was just you watching a video of something.
So that's an option too. Like pretty much the live streams are archived, and then you can just. There's a whole bunch of different search functions and all that stuff where you kind of go in and are like, I like hip hop music, or I like 80s music or whatever, and it chooses the music. There's instructors, what type of class you're trying to take, all that, and you can watch old archived ones or participate in live stream ones and kind of like hang out with people. There's leaderboards. They try to gamify it and all that shit. There's achievements. Andy, what's up?
Is this like the thing where it tells you now we're running in the Andes Mountains? So, and it shows you on screen. It kind of simulates the sort of terrain.
Yeah,
over there.
There's a free run mode too, where you can go and you choose where you want to go in the world, and there's like hundreds of videos of like running through San Francisco, and like it's running through the streets, and then the terrain changes as you're like going through stuff.
Tim, I have an important
jump
question.
over. You have to jump right now. There's a needle on the ground, sort of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
There's like, human shit. Look out!
Yeah, kind of like a Disneyland ride where you run through the different districts and the different scents are pumped in. It's pretty insane. What's up, Kev?
Can you fit a double gulp in this cup holder, or is this one of them normal size cup holders?
Oh, it's a big old cup.
Yeah,
you can fit a lot in there.
Get the fuck out! All right, that's pretty cool.
As you can see, there's two of them. There's two of them.
Why would you need two?
2 LaCroix.
Go hard.
Right.
Don't ask stupid questions.
Wait, so have you been doing this?
So I've been doing it, and I want to be completely honest and frank with everybody here. I've now done it 2 days.
Okay.
So it's not like this is like some crazy thing, but Gia was like, just do the walking program. Yeah. And just walk for 20 minutes. And I'm like, I could do that. I was like, there's no way I can run. There's no way I could run a mile. There's no way I can do all this stuff. No. Like I need to ease into this. And she's like, that's totally fine. Just as long as you're being active. And I'm like, I'm going to try it. Like, that's going to be great. The walking's not what it sounds like. Walking's not what I thought it was. Walking's in fucking tense. Walking gets up there. It's like, they take power walking. I'm like, motherfucker, this is at least a jog, if not run. And I'm like, it's a lot of the 20 minutes. I'd say like 10 of the minutes. I'm at like speed 6+, which is I'm like,
oh, that's a run right there.
That's I'm like trying to get a bus type shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm like, this is a great run.
You're for the
and
movie.
I made it about 10 minutes through yesterday before I hit a wall where like I'm gonna die. My legs are jello, and this is just the worst thing ever. But I was like, I need to push through, and so I pushed through, and it hurt a lot. And then today I was like, I might just do a 10-minute class because 20 was too much. And I was like, you know what? No, fuck. I'm gonna do 20 because if I keep doing 20 all week, maybe next week the 20 won't be that bad. I did the 20. And like, this isn't an interesting conversation. I just want to let you guys know I'm in a lot of pain.
Yeah, I was going to say, what's the story? Because here's what always happens when I run is I feel fine the next day. It's the day after that day, the second day, where the soreness really sets in and I can't sit down. Like without having, you hit that threshold where you're like, I'm fine. And then there's that last 20% between butt and cushion where it just gives out. Your legs just give out on you and you drop.
Sure.
So I don't run. I hate running.
Tim, I have a 2-part question.
Go for it. What's part 1?
First part, do you think you can continue this more long term? And second part, if you can I convince you to put a Nest camera in the garage and you can clip out those 20 to 40 minutes every day and then you just make a video of you running and losing weight?
So
over the span of 6 months.
I'm hoping to keep it up. And like there's like you get achievements if you do it multiple days in a row, little trophy things pop. And I'm like, well, that's a fun thing. I got a platinum this shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you do.
But then to answer your question for number 2, no way in hell.
Oh, come on. It'd be so
fucking
cool.
way.
Because like eventually
Kevin, here's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
We get a side view. We get a big ass green screen behind him.
Oh, I got a guy in the garage that can get you that sort of shot.
And then we put him in some sort of side scroller, right? Either a side scroller or if it's from the back to the front view, Sonic Adventure sort of game. You know what I mean? Back to the front view, he's running through, follow me. Anyway.
I like it a lot. I like it a lot.
It's hard for me to concentrate right now because Barrett's having some issues with this Photoshop thing. And I'm communicating with him about it.
You're alone right now?
I'm alone right now in the garage when I'm doing this on the Peloton.
Sure.
Right. And I'm still embarrassed for myself. Like I'm still embarrassed of everyone that can see me, and no one can see me.
Yeah, sure.
But it's just like it is like I'm like, this is a sad fucking sight. But I'm pushing myself.
That's what you gotta do, dude.
These women are just like, okay, now get your hands moving. All right. We want north to south. We don't want no east to west. And I'm like, all right, that wasn't in the plan anyways.
But you're not running like this.
Yeah, but it's just like yeah, it's kind of weird. But there's like you get to choose. There's a whole bunch of instructors. So like again, I'm saying all this as if like I'm a seasoned pro. I'm not.
Sure.
I only did it 2 times, but in those 2 times, I kind of had to do some previews and see what was going on. It's a pretty cool system they got going on. It definitely incentivizes you to want to do this hellish activity, but we'll see how this goes. Check in with me in a week.
I was gonna say, yeah. So like, what are you trying to commit to? Like, are you trying to do it every day? You're trying to do it every other day?
I'm trying to commit to doing it every day.
Okay.
Whether that means 20 minutes a day, which is like my goal right now. I want to do 20 minutes a day at least for this week and see where I'm at. I might end up alternating 20 and 10 because the 20 is a lot for me right now. But then hopefully one day maybe I'm getting up to 30 or something. Like Gia goes fucking 45 like every day, and I'm like, that's insane. And she's running.
Yeah,
I got to. So her little legs are just like going.
I got to assume, Tim, that like the class portion of it is really really focused, right? Like when like these people know when to speed up and when to slow down, because that that helps with the metabolism and all that shit. When I would go, I had no guidance, so I would jog for 20, walk for about 15 to 20, and then jog again for 20. And like I would throw some sprints in there every once in a while, just kind of like manually upping the speed and stuff. But yeah, I know that I wasn't doing it the right way. I know that like if somebody were to see the method behind it all, they'd be like, no, that's not doing anything for you. What you need to do is have high sprints here or slow walks here or whatever, and kind of because I know muscle confusion is something that always gets brought up in fitness, right? Like you don't want to get stagnant, or else other muscle groups will just kind of like get bored of what they're doing. And Nick could probably speak more to this. I don't know.
Well, that was always the hardest thing with me when it comes to running, right? Is that a lot of people think, oh, I want to get fit, so I'm going to start running, as if running is an easy activity that doesn't require you to like actually train your muscles to be able to do it. And I think this is the problem I run into every single time I think I'm going to go for a jog, is that I think just because I'm able to do, a different exercise, whether it be weight train or like roll or whatever, that does not necessarily equate to me being able to run down like up a hill for 20 minutes without feeling like physically like my legs are going to explode. And so that's the thing, Tim. I think you're starting off on the right basis, which is start with 10 minutes, get your muscles up there. If you're sore, make sure you're stretching. If I'm sure Gia has a plethora of foam rollers, or if you get a massage gun, get a Theragun, those are great. Yeah. That's great for breaking up that lactic acid in the muscles and getting those muscles nice and smoothed out for you, so you can run again the next day. And then
I'm worried about my lactic acid.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if you hit, we have the massage gun over here, and if you hit the spot just right on me, I will lactate. It's true.
Yeah,
it's true. But that's always been my uphill battle, no pun intended, with running, is that it just doesn't feel good, and so I start dreading it after a time, and then I go, I'm not doing this. That's why I like things like weight training and jujitsu, because jujitsu for me it's fun because I can see progression. I get to hang out with people. I have people who can teach me, and it's going to be a good workout no matter what. Because even if I'm deciding to be a little bit lazy, I'm still getting destroyed for 30 minutes. And if my instructor sees it, he'll go, "Hey, guess what? Now we're doing burpees or whatever." So I don't know. I've always gravitated towards stuff that like as physical exercises that I actually enjoy, or at least can derive some enjoyment from.
Yeah,
I miss getting sweaty. I miss playing basketball. Like it's just a thing that I'm unable to do now, and it really fucking bums me out that I can't even play basketball, like a sport that I would play all of the fucking time if I could. Like when I lived back in Austin, it was a daily thing, and meeting friends at the court and exchanging numbers and oh, you're gonna be here tomorrow. All right, sweet, sweet, sweet. And you show up the next day and you get a really good workout in, and you'd know if you're gonna defend this person, they're gonna fucking wear your ass down because of just how athletic they are. And I just miss all that, dude. Like I don't know when the next time I'll be able to shoot a basketball again, because all the public parks have all their rims either taken down or they are boarded up so that you just don't even try to play there. It just fucking sucks, dude. It's like the only thing that I loved doing that was an exercise. And I started resorting to running on treadmills last, I guess a year ago today, when I was starting to hit the gym. And then I came back from New Year's Eve and it's like, oh, I'm back in San Francisco, back to the gym. And then, Corona hit and my whole gym just kind of went down. It just sucks, dude.
The great thing about what Tim's got going on though is that the thing that I have a difficulty with is when I'm outside, like going for like harder walks or urban hikes or whatever you want to call them. Is that I hate wearing the masks, and I wear them all the time because I think safety first, but I cannot stand the feeling of like cloth over my face, because it just brings up all these memories of when I first started doing jujitsu, and like imagine someone's thick, sweaty gi draped over your face as you're trying to get out from like a horrible position where you can't breathe. And so that always brings up those feelings for me. But I think it's great that you have it at your house. So you take it off, wear whatever you want to wear, maybe get a little like fan on you or whatever, and just breathe well.
Yeah, I mean that's the it's all about having a routine, and I think if you can make the routine as easy and as enjoyable as possible, you're in a good way, right? Like before all this went down, I was going to the gym, right? I'd done a gym membership, and I was enjoying. It's similar to what we're talking about. Like I hate running. Like if running is going to be exercise, it's not going to stick for me, right? But I found that I really love that Stairmaster. And so I was doing 45 minutes on the Stairmaster every other day, right? And I was sticking to it. I was doing really well. And then, COVID hit. So I moved over to doing the Supernatural VR thing. And I really do enjoy that. But it's the problem in just that wears me down about everything with COVID of, cool, I want to do that, which means I got to push the dining room table over there and push the chairs out of the way. And even then, I'm still going to clip something. I don't have the open space for it. And like, these are all such minuscule excuses, but when you wake up and you're tired that one day, I would do it so consistently so well, and then it would just be one day where I stayed up late playing a video game, and I was like, because that's more important to me. And then I'd wake up and I didn't, and then you look and I haven't done it in like 2 months or whatever. Like you just fall out of the rhythm and it's over.
This is why I have to build things around me that can hold me accountable. Like I'll build relationships, or I'll look for people who can either mentor or coach me in these things. And I just, because I'm not a person who self-motivates to go out there and exercise, I just will not do it. And so, but I am someone that feels like if I'm letting you down, that's a worse feeling for me. So if I say, Andy, we're going to go work out, and we work on it on a consistent basis, and we start relying on each other, then that's a built-in accountability mechanism that I can basically have every week. So it's less about me, I don't want to do that physical thing that's going to suck. It's more about, I don't want to let Andy down. So we're going to go hang out, and we'll just talk, and then we'll probably go for a run or whatever, or we'll spar in the park or whatever we're going to do. That was why it was always fun to do jiu-jitsu, because there's nothing more motivating than when a black belt texts you and go, how come you're not in class? And you go, oh, fuck, that's scary. All right, I'll come. I'm sorry. I'm coming right now. I'm
on my way.
Greg, I totally feel that, where it comes from the convenience aspect, right? Yeah. Like when we were at the studio all the time, I always had the standing desk up, and I loved when I could have the pull-up bar. Now, you and Tim very, very tall, so I tried taking it down as much as I could, as much as I remembered to.
Wasn't a problem for me, Andy.
Yeah. But I brought it home, and my doorways don't allow it. They are the framing around the doorways is too thick, so the pull-up bar just doesn't function there. But when it was at the studio and I'd see it, I'd go do 5 pull-ups and then get back to work, and then I'd go to the kitchen, and then 2 hours later I'd do 10 more pull-ups or whatever. And I loved having it there just as a convenience. But I really, really wish I could have them here. Maybe I just need to find a different type of pull-up bar that can maybe fit on these door frames. But I know if I had it here, I would use it several times a day. It's just not there. And the idea that the same with my weights. I have my little stupid ass dumbbells underneath my TV thing here or whatever. And when they're out of sight, they're out of mind. Like they're just not. They're not in my in my daily routine unless I happen to leave them on the floor. I'm like, oh, dumbbells. Let me do a couple of curls. Maybe do a couple of these. Do a couple push-ups with them. But when they're gone, they're gone. I forget that they're there, and then I just end up sitting down for fucking 18 hours in a day.
That's one of the cool things about this Peloton thing too, that I haven't got to this part and may never, but there's also like classes for weight training stuff. And it's like you buy just a certain amount of like key weights, and then you can do it standing on the treadmill and just doing it, or standing next to the treadmill, or you can just use anything, any internet, any app or whatever, and just watch the classes and stuff. But just having someone tell me what to do that isn't real, that I don't actually need to interact with, and they're not judging me physically, I'm like, all right, I can
Oh,
a bit more.
Tim, so the teacher can't see you?
No, there's no camera on it.
Oh, okay.
They see your stats though, right?
They see your stats.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
they see if you
and your name, right?
If
They
you're
can tell
slowing
you're in
down,
the
if you're not
class.
speeding up, if you're
exactly,
not doing
exactly. And it's like there's a lot of things where they'll be like, and I'm still learning all this shit, but it's like there's like base pace, and then there's like brisk pace, and then there's all out, and it's like they'll be like, I'm at a 6 and it's my all out or whatever, but like if you're a little taller, maybe you should go higher or whatever. I'm like, y'all motherfuckers crazy. But I think I just need to kind of learn the language a little bit, because right now it's a little overwhelming for me, where there's like a lot of commands happening. Like, all right, cool, do this now, do this now, do this, but it's also keeping me engaged in a way that I'm not focusing on the fact that I hate myself.
Tim, how's the audio? Is it
Fucking
headphones?
Awesome. No, it's like dope ass speakers from the TV.
Oh, sick. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So you don't need Bluetooth, but can you do Bluetooth headphones?
I mean, yeah, you can connect your Spotify, you can connect things, and if you wanted headphones, you could. But
okay.
Yeah, it's pretty cool and versatile. Like I'm stoked about the functionality of it, and like what Nick was saying about the accountability and all that. We'll see how long this lasts for me, but like even today, it was like I wanted to do it because Gia told me to, and it was like today I did it without her even telling me to. I was like, I'm just gonna do it. I'm just gonna do it.
Just get it off my back.
What I'm hoping to do is maybe we set up a Patreon and a third Patreon. We set up a third one. We buy out the bottom floor of this duplex, right? So the top floor we pay around 40-something hundred. Bottom floor is probably about the same because it's the same layout, same amount of rooms or whatever. But we buy the bottom floor and knock down all the walls. It's just one big empty room.
Love it.
And maybe
so wait, are you renting it? You're buying it? You're buying the whole thing?
Well, we can rent it or whatever, but we knock down all the walls.
You can't knock down walls if you rent. That's bad.
Well, free
you lose the security deposit for sure.
First Amendment, Greg. So we knock down all the walls. We get a couple of Pelotons in there, and I just invite people. Right? We maybe sell out. We make a little gym here. You have to wear a mask. You have to show me.
But then you've just started a gym, and that's
you have to show me COVID tests. You have to show me STD reports, all that sort of stuff.
I will say this as the city official that I am. You're shut down. You're shut down already. I'm sorry.
Fuck already,
Andy. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
before it even got started. So the first
now I'm just gonna start a GoFundMe to make up
pay his fees.
The first hope was that we knock down the bottom floor and we knock down we knock down the actual floor that's here, making this a second floor, right? So it's just one big tall building as opposed to duplex style thing. We take out the actual floor.
Of what?
So that I could have an indoor basketball court.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, yeah.
Right? You know what I mean? Like, and so these ceilings are hella tall. I don't have to worry about the basketball. I don't have that much arc. I'm not Derek Fisher out here, right? I have a normal of course straight on shot. Yeah. What's up, Kevin?
I got a sledgehammer. You say the word and a crowbar, a very big crowbar. You say the word and I'll start taking down whatever walls you point me in the direction.
All right. That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
That sounds awesome. But I don't have room for exercise equipment. I don't. Yeah. Backyard also belongs to whoever's probably going to move down there. So we have to share that. It's not like there's a big tarp there or anything that I could cover up an exercise thing. Well, maybe I can get a tarp.
I can get you a tarp. You want to get a tarp?
But the amount that it rains here, Kevin, the amount of raccoons back here that are just busting around there.
That's really the problem.
Well, that's part of the workout. That's part of the workout.
Yeah, you're running from them, right?
What you gotta do is you catch 2-3 of them. You starve them for a couple days,
right?
Okay. And then you get in that cage with him and you start wrestling and just see
Didn't expect that.
What I'm thinking is I walk back there and I'm like, all right, y'all ready? And like they all come out, they're like, yeah, let's do this. And they're wearing their own gis and stuff.
Yeah, they're tying it out. You see that when you see the guy who's wearing a belt that looks kind of gray because he's had it for so long that it went from black to gray. That's the guy that you don't fuck with. Let someone else take him the first couple rounds, okay?
What a great visual. That's awesome.
Dude, that's always the scariest when you see the guy guest instruct and you're like, you've been a black belt for like as long as I've been alive. And the strength when they put on like a collar choke is the scariest thing ever. Going back to Tim though, here's the big question I have for you, right? So we're talking about your fitness. I love this. I love that you're thinking about it. I'm super proud of you. What is the diet situation? What is your eating situation?
Wait, I love this and I love Tim too, but I also love our sponsor. This episode of the Kindafunny podcast is brought to you by youtube.com/kindafunnyplays. That's right, matzo balls. We started another YouTube channel. If you didn't know, on January 4th, 2021, I wasn't prepared to say the full date, but I did. We did a 12-hour live stream announcing all our different things and different initiatives. And one of the things we announced is that we hired Snow Bike Mike to be a full-time Kindafunny employee. Of course, continue to host the Xcast, but more importantly, for the everyday, host a at least 2-hour live stream on twitch.tv/Kindafunny Games right after Kindafunny Games Daily. We said we'd be doing this, we'd stream this, and you were all very excited. And then you immediately said, where can we watch these archives? And we're like, oh, they'll be on Twitch. Well, actually, we're going to have to take them down. And then you guys were like, well, where can you put them? We're like, I don't know. Maybe we'll put them on Patreon. And you guys were like, that's not a good call. And then we were like, no, I guess you're not. That's not a good call. So we made a new YouTube channel. You can go to youtube.com/kindafunnyplays, and you will get each day's archive right there. All the time we've been doing this, they'll all be up. They're going up right now. I shouldn't say slowly. They're going up right now. There are a few up. There'll be more up now that Tim's off of this show. There's a bunch of different stuff happening. So like I said, youtube.com/kindafunnyplays if you want to see our streams in their entireties over on the YouTube format rather than the twitch.tv/kindafunnygames. But remember, we still need you on twitch.tv/kindafunnygames. So if you have Amazon Prime, you have a free subscription, go over there and give it to us. And if you don't have any money to give us, no big deal, but please go to twitch.tv/kindafunnygames. Click the follow button. It's free. And click the notification button. That's also free. And you'll know when we're live. But again, youtube.com/kindafunnyplays. Go subscribe right now. All right, Tim, answer Nick's question.
I mean, the diet situation is I have Gia who
is cooking for you.
I mean, yeah, she cooks a lot. We order a lot. I mean, it's like any order we do is always has to get approved by the G Master, you know.
Now, are we drinking a lot? Are we snacking a lot?
I don't snack, so there's no snacking. There's definitely a lot of drinking. There's been less drinking recently because I am trying to do all this.
I would say if you wanted to, and I would be totally willing to do this with you, and I would be willing to give up alcohol for a whole month for you if you wanted to do like a sober February. Totally, I would totally do that for you.
Tim, I say we go the opposite thing. We become drunks for a month. See how that works out for us.
See how it works out.
I mean,
who knows then?
You know what I mean? Like, because if you're too hungover, you can't eat. Right, guys?
I guess. Yeah, that is.
I mean, that's true. Logic. That logic actually, unfortunately, checks out.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't. My eating, I think, is fine. I don't eat too much food, and I would say majority of it's good. They're just, I still eat pizza. You know what I mean? It's not like I'm like the best eating person, but like, Gia also won't let me get pizza all the time, so it's fine.
See, I would love to put you on. I would love to put you on a month meal plan and just see. Yeah, I would actually bet that if you worked out for a month versus you just did one of my meal plans for a month, you would lose more weight on just dieting. I don't know. I mean, if we're talking about overall fitness, you still do have to do a lot.
Yeah,
I mean, you're talking about overall fitness, you want to be more healthy. So I totally understand that.
I think the running is going to help me the most, but we'll see.
I would say be careful. I mean, I don't know if you've weighed yourself. One of the things I will say about like when you first start working out, specifically running, be careful. You might gain weight, not fat. You'll gain muscle, and it'll be discouraging because you'll be like, oh man, I haven't moved. My weight hasn't shifted, because your body will do that thing where your muscles will start building in your legs and in your glutes and your back, and you'll start actually be able to go long enough, but then you step on the scale. I've had that happen a few times, specifically even when I lift. This happens all the time where I get discouraged because I'll go, I've been working out a lot, and then I'll put on 5 pounds and go, damn it. Like I don't feel like I've made any progress. What's that?
You'll be pooping a lot too, Tim.
Oh man, Tim, you poop all the time.
Once you start exercising a lot, like you're gonna be pooping like crazy, and it's a good feeling because you know that like, oh, my body's reacting in a positive way to this.
Get the fat out. The fat's going out the other end.
Knock out the fat. That's what George Foreman always said about shitting.
Mm-hmm.
Man,
just Jake
man, shout out to the George Foreman grill. Am I right?
Yeah. I just picture George Foreman on an infomercial like, are you shitting a lot? Knock out the
fat. So now my final question on this was there a turning point where like I just got to change it, or was it just like this has been going on a long time? Yeah.
That's it.
Okay.
G had it. She's like, cool. And it is. Also, I'm fat as fuck. Like, that's also probably a motivation. But there wasn't like a turning point. So, like, I was like, oh, man, this sucks. I guess I will say that if there was anything that I'm like, all right, now's probably a time I should like really start trying to bring things back to how they were, is that my fellow fat fuck friends around me that are like my same height, James Burke and Sean Finnegan, both of them have made a lot of progress towards reverting to what they used to be. And I'm like, all right, I can't let them have anything to make fun of me for. I want to be able to make fun of them always.
Sure.
That's
and
there's always upper hand.
Yeah,
I want the upper hand in every way.
But they're both single, so like they have way more motivation. You're love, you're happy, you're gonna eat.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, I want to have it all over them. You know what I mean? I can't let them have anything.
You got some miles. That's true. They don't got theaters.
I mean, the thing is this, Tim, your competition breeds excellence. This is your last hurdle. Once you get this, you're the Triple Crown winner at this point, right?
Absolutely. That's what I'm looking at.
I think that's actually, I mean, we're obviously teasing, but if that's a motivator for you, I say use it positively and every time you think about listening to that inner voice that just says, dude, pizza, which I listen to once a week, think, what would Sean Finnegan do right now? And then after you stop laughing, because of course,
argue with Kevin about the moon.
I was going to say hiking, but that'll work too. Yeah, the moon argument, it's like a classic Sean Finnegan tale. Then you get your ass on the treadmill and run.
Mm-hmm. So here's the thing. We're going to leave this with a question from Kenneth Fox, right? Oh, and worth pointing out too, I'm sorry, I almost forgot about this too, that not only did all the popular kind of funny people get stuff yesterday, I actually had something for James Burke that I gave to Tim as well yesterday, just in terms of like how diverse the selection of people who got goods were that weren't Nick.
Everyone that mattered got stuff.
Got it.
Exactly. Everybody who matters got stuff yesterday. Kenneth Fox says, with it being January, I'm looking to lose weight over the next few months. Any tips for staying on the straight and narrow? Like we're talking about this, how long convenience is the one that I brought up, right? And finding an exercise you actually like. Nick, I feel like you have, and I may be being a bit broad here, I think, and I've known you longer, I guess, than Andy, but I know that you've been, since I've known you, I've seen you go from being the large Nick Scarpino drinking, smoking, being crazy to being the more disciplined Nick Scarpino of, working out, going to doing comedy stuff, but like, being committed to a workout regimen and looking and taking care of yourself. What tips do you have for Kenneth?
Yeah. Well, thank you. That was nice, by the way. Yeah, I would say that for me, environment matters. So if you've got people, like if you have roommates that just want to smoke and order pizza the entire time, that's going to be very difficult. So that's your first hurdle right there. If you are with a significant other, and I'm very fortunate in that a lot of the times me and D line up, we go, hey, we feel like we've gone a little crazy over the holidays. Let's get back to our meeting, our eating plan, right? And I don't think of it as a diet. I think of like, this is how we eat normally. When we go crazy on pizza, or when I decide to go for my third box of See's candy over the holiday, that's an exception to the rule. That's not the rule. Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally.
So when I'm eating those foods, I don't feel like, oh, finally I'm back to eating normal. I go, oh, I've gone a little bit off the rails here, and I recognize that I'm doing it. And to be honest, unless you're trying to be, a fitness model, or you're trying to be an athlete, I think that's just going to happen, and you should allow yourself some of those foods sometimes because it's fun and it's cathartic, and then it'll reset and you get back to it. But you just have to make sure those intervals are not like, it's not 3 months of binging and going crazy and then 1 week of working out. It's the opposite.
Sure.
And that's how you should look at it. And then also, like, I would not have been able to quit smoking if I was around a bunch of smokers, right? I will not have been able to quit eating if I was still living at my mom's house where there's just a crap ton of food. So just pay attention to who's in your environment and what their habits are, because you're probably going to pick up on those habits, unfortunately. And if you do have a significant other, I can stress, like, find a meal plan that works. I did this avocado diet, which I really, really worked. It was like a crazy, like fasting / avocado and like vegetables and protein diet. Find something that you think would be work that you and your either a roommate or wife or husband or whatever can do together, and make that the thing you guys do together, because then it's fun. Then that's my accountability, right? I'm not going to go out there and have a slice of pizza because I got to cook for D later. That's my goal. Is like, I'm going to cook for my wife tonight. I'm going to bring home Brussels sprouts. I'm going to do something that's healthy because I don't want to let her down, and she doesn't, and vice versa. Andy from Kindafunny.
I just want to point out that if I ever uttered the word avocado, Nick, you would eviscerate me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a dumb name, and yeah, it's not. I'm not proud of it. But my buddy, it was one of those things where my friend, who's a fellow comic, he did that picture, right, where I was letting myself go a little bit, and then I saw a picture of him, and he's like, I've been doing this diet for a month, and look at this. And it was like the abs up or abs out, shirt up picture. And I'm like, wow, you look great. I immediately reached out. What did you do? And he gave me the diet plan. He was like, here's what you got to do. And it works. You know, it trimmed me down from roughly 90. It usually trims me down from about 195 to about 180. And I don't like to go above 183, 184, because that's when I start feeling like, when I see myself on camera or I see myself on stage specifically, I don't like the way I look, and I don't. Yeah, that just bums me out mentally. So
it looks like it's a 21-day diet challenge. Now, Nick, do you have to like either you avocado or you avocado don't?
Great point.
When are they going to hire me, Greg? You know, I've been talking about avocado for fucking decades here now. When are they going to hire me for marketing? You know.
I have no fucking idea what avocado is. I thought it was a reference. I thought he was being cute and saying avocado funny, like in that free avocado. I thought that's what it was.
Yeah, I don't know. I honestly don't know where they got the name from. I haven't interfaced too much with the actual like people who sell this diet. It was just referred to me, and like I got the plan from my buddy. But it's heavily based around like good fats you get from avocado and olive oils and things like that. And
so it is then. It is probably a reference to that thing, right? The joke.
I have to imagine so. Yeah. Okay. I don't have context for it, but yeah, I don't know if these people are being funny or not, but it works. It obviously it introduced intermittent fasting to my life, which I thought was something that I just would never be into. But after your first 24-hour fast, and you realize that you can go 24 hours without, you're fine. That helps to reset mentally, like your relationship with food, which I think is super important. And then it just forces you to eat vegetables. And I'll tell you one thing right now, if you want to talk about the one thing I hate more than running, Greg, it's just eating vegetables for sustenance.
Sure.
What? Go F yourself, food. Like, who do you think you are?
You tell them.
You know what I mean?
Cucumbers are great. Leave them out of it. Leave cucumbers out of it.
Oh, I love cucumbers. Are you kidding me?
Love a good cucumber.
And I guess I'm the only person that doesn't like the cucumbers.
No, well, it's because I eat it I eat it like in a way that isn't super healthy, right? Like you get cucumbers, you pour a bunch of lemon juice all over it.
That's fine.
And then you put some trechas, like the little the hot chili powder sort of thing, but the Mexican totally sort of style. Oh, it's so good, dude. If you've ever eaten that, it's like a great little snack to have.
That sounds super healthy, actually. That sounds really good.
So good. It's so
What about just cucumber with like salt on it? You know, sea salt.
I like doing that too, Greg.
Yeah.
I like that, yeah.
I don't know how you can not like a cucumber.
Do you
all do like cucumbers?
Hold on. No, here comes Tim. He's coming off the bench. What's wrong?
The cucumbers are the water of food, where it's just like they're just there.
Sounds great.
No, that's celery. That's celery. You're thinking about celery.
But
cucumbers can be pickles if you try hard enough.
I like pickles, but it's just like even with celery, it's like I'd make a similar argument that it is like the water of food, but I feel like what Andy's talking about is like cool. I'm all about that because I do enjoy the texture and crunch of a cucumber. Yeah. To add stuff I actually want to taste on top of that, then I'm down for that. But
it's amazing.
Just a cucumber in a thing, it's like you're just kind of.
Oh no, I mean I like cucumbers in salads as well, like with a little bit of ranch on it, a little bit of carrot, a little bit of cheese, spinach, or whatever. One thing I will say, I want to pose a question actually because I grew up eating watermelon with sprinkling some salt on it. And then I think I was introduced to watermelon and sugar a lot later on in life. And I was like, really? I never knew that was a combination people ate. And they were like, what do you eat it with? And I said salt. And they were like, what? It's sugar in watermelon. What are you talking about? So like what was your default growing up?
Watermelon.
Anything on watermelon.
Yeah, just watermelon, straight up watermelon.
Really?
I love watermelon. Yeah. I love the taste of it.
You never poured like a little bit of salt on it. Really?
I mean, cantaloupe, I've heard people do like cantaloupe with salt on top of it. That's a thing, right? Like prosciutto and cantaloupe. That's an Italian thing for sure.
Sure. It's really good too. That's really good.
I got to know I bet you the chat's kind of going to ring up, talk about this. I'd like to see what they think because
both sound good. I just always had my watermelon plain. Grandma Miller was always like, Jesus didn't have any salt for his watermelon. And I was like, that's a great point, Grandma Miller.
Great point, Grandma Miller. Thank you for the dynamite drop in.
You think Jesus ever had a watermelon? That's got to be hard to get.
I don't think regionally it was there.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. But you had like traders and stuff come through, right?
Are we just guessing, or like are watermelons not found in the Middle East?
I mean, I'm 100% guessing that it's not like.
I'm looking into where
Jerusalem you're growing a lot of watermelons. I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm clearly not a botanist or a geographer guy or a fucking historian.
Yeah, I don't know what like climate watermelons grow best. Maybe they do grow well.
I'll just you look at that. I'm just gonna.
Hey, I think
Jesus.
I wrote it already, Greg.
Oh shit!
I wrote. Did Jesus have a watermelon? And the watermelon lesson, the Church of Jesus Christ, is a whole thing. It was much too big and heavy for her to carry, and she could barely get her little arms around it. So
it's Dirty Dancing. It's a story of Dirty Dancing.
Exactly.
Create a watermelon.
It sounds like Jesus had some type of interaction with this.
Good, because I was about to say, like, show me a person who's never had a watermelon. And I'll show you a person I don't want to be. You know,
man, this is how you know you're a bad like Catholic. I'm sure I'm sure I've heard that story before, and I'm sure people can be like, Nick, that's like the most popular stuff. I did not pay attention in church ever. In fact,
I mean, I paid attention, but there's just so many stories about Jesus. There's so many issues that he was in. So many issues, you know.
Go ahead.
Yeah, what do you got?
So I take it all back. This is actually just a woman from Texas that is using a watermelon to teach her children about Jesus.
No.
So seems like
very different. Yeah,
very different.
So I'll show you a person I don't want to be. Jesus Christ, never had a watermelon.
Yeah. There
we don't know that yet. Okay, so no.
I'll take it as fact right now.
Hold on. So,
like,
he also never had a corn dog. You know what I mean? Like that sucks. He didn't eat macaroni and cheese the way we had it.
Oh, Joey said that Gia's never had a corn dog either.
She hasn't.
Did I just?
Yeah.
I typed in. I was like, wait a minute, am I crazy for remembering a watermelon story? Maybe Andy just inceptioned that in my brain. And I type in watermelons and Catholics, and it goes to Catholics versus seedless watermelons. I don't know how you compare those two.
They can't reproduce, Nick, because they can't reproduce. You know those Catholics. We get worked out.
No, Catholics, Kevin. Catholics can definitely reproduce, man.
Really? You all read it as like comparing. I read it as like they were warring factions.
Oh no, I did too. That's how I thought it.
That's wild. I'm so dumb.
Kevin, how many years ago Jesus walked on the earth?
How many years ago?
2000
minus what? 50?
Okay.
Wait, no.
Looking here.
Minus.
I'm on ArabAmerica.com, and they have an article called "For the Love of Watermelon." It's going through. Watermelon is older than you think. Proof of the fruit's existence was discovered at a 5,000-year-old settlement in Libya and in other historic sites, according to National Geographic. Seeds, as well as paintings of this is National Geographic. Seeds, as well as paintings of watermelons, also have been discovered in Egyptian tombs built more than 4,000 years ago, including King Tut's.
Yeah, but was it one of those things where like, what we think of as a watermelon like 2,000 years ago looked completely different?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm sure it's not like,
like an old banana. They looked fucking weird. They like football shaped.
Corn, right?
None of the stuff's where you think it's supposed to be. Oh,
I like an old corn, and they find corn and you can use that to like murder people with. It's so like intense.
Please bring up the video I sent you.
Hold on, sorry, button problem here.
This is cool as hell. Oh my god!
There it is.
My parents have recently moved, and so they did the thing where my dad finally was like, "We're gonna ship you up the 6 boxes of crap that I've kept for you forever."
Yeah.
And I had my brother, of course, before he brought him up to help us move, and he brought the boxes. But before that, I had him like throw a bunch of shit out. But one of the things I found a treasure trove of old Nick pictures and pictures, NICK pictures. As well,
I heard it that way to begin with. The second way is funny.
Just clarifying, everyone. But one of the things I did find was I used to draw. I was so into Magnum PI's Ferrari. Yeah. And when I was in church, I would take the little collections. Greg, when you went to church, they have a little collections envelope. Remember those?
Oh yeah.
I used to take those and I used to just draw outlines of what I thought the Ferrari was like. And I found one of those in that box. I was like, whoa.
That's awesome. So Tim shared a video here that we're watching, and I didn't know where we were going with it, but it's clear now that it's a watermelon being sculpted into the face of Jesus. And once you get through the green rind to the flesh, that looks like it's actually the skinned face of Jesus. It's pretty fucking terrifying.
It's really terrifying.
I gotta see it. We gotta see it all the way through now.
Oh, they left the green band for like his headband. I kind of forgot. I was wondering what they were doing with it.
It's the crown of thorns there.
I was wondering what they were doing there.
He looks a little like Willie Nelson, though.
I thought he had a little athletic sweatband.
Jesus does in real life, so it's fine.
There are a shocking amount of people that have shaved Jesus Christ into watermelons. If you just Google Jesus watermelon, there's like this version where it's like sculpting like a 3D version of his head, but then there's a lot that are just more like 2D images on watermelons.
Are we about to find out there's like a big watermelon sculpting like YouTube world that we didn't know about previously? So what's happening right here?
The beard looking real good.
Holy shit, we definitely are, Kev. Go back and click on their channel.
No. Let's finish it. I gotta see how Jesus looks really at the end here. Oh god,
really good sculpture.
Oh god, now he's doing individual teeth.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
This person really knows what they're doing.
A little bit of a tongue there.
Oh yeah, look, they're making the headband into something else.
Crown of Thorns.
So I'm looking at the channel right now.
That's it. It's done. Jesus fucking Christ. That's horrifying.
Nailed it, Greg. But the Valeriano Fatisa on YouTube, they just shave things into things. So we got watermelon carvings, we got coffee bean sculptures, we got some potato carvings, and then of course the classic pumpkin.
Oh, so they don't specialize in only watermelon.
No, it's just sculptures of any type. Pretty crazy stuff, guys.
Andy, this could be your future. This could be your quarantine habit for 2021.
Maybe we can grow into it. Yeah, maybe we can think of a new little hobby to create, Greg. I was doing a questionnaire the other day. This is a total non sequitur. I was doing a questionnaire the other day, and one of the questions was, if you could go back to any point in time in the past, where would you go? And obviously, we think of like the big moments. We think of Pangea.
That's what I always think about. Yeah,
Pangea.
I remember Pangea.
Yeah. But the thing that I always get curious about is, when did certain species of dogs kind of become what we know of them now?
Sure.
Right? Yeah. Like, how long back do you have to go to find out that this is where the pug was a pug? Right? And before then, there had never been a pug before.
This was a wolf.
Mm-hmm.
It's so crazy to me.
Now he's our king. Everybody, a moment of silence for our king.
Tongue, dude. Look at the tongue.
He's an idiot. I love him so much.
Yeah, the idea of like the domestication of animals is the most fascinating thing ever. I have to imagine that early man who was able to domesticate dogs was just all Kevin. It was just every single one of them was a Kevin, and who was like, "Hey, wolf, get over here and get me a bone or some shit." And the ones that were like wouldn't do it, he just didn't feed. And the ones that would kowtow to him, he's like, "You're going to be my dog from now on."
Got it. Because I just think about like what animals were they mating with to become smaller and smaller and smaller?
No, Andy.
What are the breeds of dogs?
Yeah, you pick the small dogs.
Yeah.
Like you're like, oh, this one's smaller. Let's make this the two dogs here. Let's make them have a kid. Also, Nick,
I'm just thinking, Kevin. Here's what I'm thinking of. Here's what I'm thinking of. Like they finally had a couple of different breeds like banging or whatever. And then when one was born, they said, that doesn't look like anything we've ever seen. Like, what is this? That's a corgi or whatever. That's a Pomeranian. That's a whatever. Right. I'm just so fascinated that those things existed and these breeds weren't always just walking the earth. I think that's such a cool thing.
Well, Kevin, what's the term for it when you not natural selection?
It's artificial selection, right? Well, artificial selection refers to like a hurricane destroying stuff, right?
Science with Kev.
Yeah, it's like gene splicing, but you're not actually doing that. You're just picking the smallest of the dogs and like breeding them together to make a different dog, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's not. The word eugenics keeps coming up in my brain, but that's
that's what happens when you do that for humans.
Yeah, that's
right?
humans,
and
right?
That's bad. That's bad. But you're just talking about selective breeding.
Yeah, I guess that's the term I'm looking for. Thank you. Yeah, selective breeding. It's fascinating.
Well, it's weird when I'm only really versed in dachshunds or whatever, but just to you think of like the problem. But I mean, like you think about all these different breeds of dogs, and like Portillo, his breed is made to go after badgers, not badger holes. Think about like how much of a problem badgers had to be that somebody was like, you know what, fuck this. I gotta give me a decade. I'm gonna have this solved. I'm gonna fucking make these dogs breed, get longer and longer, and fucking cure
Yeah, what I love about that though is that Portillo has a cause. He has a reason to exist, like a thing that he's supposed to be doing. But like, there's other dogs. I'm like, what the hell's Moose supposed to be doing? I don't think he was made for anything.
Killing rats. You don't think he's supposed to be killing rats?
Hell no.
He's supposed to infiltrate the rats, then report back to the other dogs what they're doing, so they can get in. He's gonna leave the door unhooked.
Yeah, I'm a bigger version of you. I would love the idea though of like, you know, we got to get these badgers right, and give me 10 years. We're gonna create a new breed of dog to specifically attack them and their weaknesses. And then, like, they create a Portillo, and then the badgers just weren't an issue anymore. They're like,
oh, fuck.
We did all this work.
Now we got this guy.
It's not even a problem now. What do we do with this breed?
Let them solve these things now.
Make them smaller and dumber. All right, I can do that. Yeah.
Well, like, are there other dogs that are like made for specific reasons? Because it's like, okay,
so
you know, some of the bigger ones, like with the blind help and all that stuff, like those always seem to be specific types of dogs.
But I don't labs. Those are usually labs. That's just because it's a smart dog. I don't think they're bred for that specifically. You have like the border collies, all the like herding dogs. It's one of those things where it's crazy how effective that shit is. Because you know, they're raised to help corral like smaller animals, and a lot of times if you get a border collie, it will just start corralling whatever's around. So it'll start just. My friend had chickens, and it would wrangle them up and stuff, and it made like catching them really easy. And like if you have got little toddlers running around, it'll just naturally want to like get in a circle and, you know, push them together.
Go buck wild.
It's like that beaver that we watched, Nick, on Internet Explorer, where the guy had the pet beaver and it started making dams in his house. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, I guess corgis are running after the sheep and stuff, biting their little ankles.
Literally. Are you looking at the same Wikipedia I am? Where it's Welsh corgis have historically been used as herding dogs, specifically for cattle. They are the type of herding dog referred to as heelers, meaning that they would nip at the heels of larger animals to keep them on the move. So again,
That's
why they're
awesome.
so small, ready to go. Doesn't explain why they have such a fucking luscious ass, though. You know what I mean? How did that happen? They got those fucking buns, huh?
They really do it. Wait, did Alfredo just get a baby corgi?
He did. He doesn't have it yet because it's too young. They have to wait till they're 10 weeks old.
Oh, I didn't know that was an actual corgi. I thought it was just some other dog.
Looks like a rat. You know what I mean? Way cooler than the fucking dog
it's
right
a
now.
Baby, for God's sake.
It's a corgi. I think it's like 2 weeks old or something. Like it was late December that it was born.
Oh my God, little baby.
It's adorable. I saw it. I was like, oh no, that's gonna be adorable.
Oh, no,
how can you?
This is gonna be a problem.
Do they?
Because this is the issue. This is why I can't have dogs, right? It's because I'm not a great disciplinarian. So that unfortunate duty would fall to D, which would then mean she has not one but two things in the house running wild, doing whatever the hell they want, and really just not trying to take any accountability for the mess they make. But she's like every time we're talking about getting a dog, she's like, if we ever get a dog, you can't let the dog sleep on the bed. To which I reply every single time, absolutely. I'll wait for you to go out of town, then the dog can sleep on the bed with me. And she's like, you're missing the point of the story.
I'm always hesitant about a dog sleeping on a bed just because of like the smells and the you know,
look, it's oily.
It's
just
not,
the
guys,
dirtiness.
Furry and oily.
No, it's not bad at all. It's not. We let Cecil sleep on our bed, and it's first of all, he doesn't sleep the whole night. He only sleeps with us for like 40 minutes. Then he'll get up and go to his bed. But like it's not bad at all.
Because here's what I'll say. Here's what I'll say is just let me just play devil's advocate here, right?
Play devil's advocate, Andy.
Everybody always jumps down my ass and is like, why do you wear shoes inside of a house? That's fucking dirty and weird. But like a dog sleeping in your bed is cleaner, is fine.
No, they got dirty paws and dirty mouths and dirty butts, and they're gonna sleep in the bed. They're gonna get all their dirty butts all over your bed.
You clean the paws beforehand. When they come in from the outside, you say, "Come here."
That's too much work.
You grab a rag
and you do it every time.
Tim, do you clean Moose's paws after he goes outside?
No, Moose doesn't go outside of the real world, right? He goes to the backyard mostly. Right? I mean, because Cecil goes outside to the backyard and it's like wet. Like he gets mud on his feet and I have to grab a rag.
That makes sense because
I have to grab a rag and clean him down.
Wow.
I was gonna say wash him, but it didn't come out.
Oh, okay. I didn't know where that sentence was going.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense for Cecil, but I like to think like I'm a fan of short hair dogs, right? Like I obviously love the Boston Terriers. Is one of my favorite dogs, and so I always think like when I go visit my sister-in-law, she has two of them. We just let them out, and let them back in, but they want to go out in and out so much that the idea of having to clean their paws every single time they go out to go play is just overwhelming. So that's why I always think about the idea of like what's going on. But also like I don't give a shit because once they're there, I'm like, yeah, climb on top of me, let's go. Like let's snuggle. I mean, come on, the dogs are the best. They're the best.
Yeah, I mean, it's there's just no, in my opinion, there's no defense of it. No, it is nasty. Like no matter how clean it is, it's not that clean. But I mean, so is Gia has a butthole too. You know what I mean? But I sleep next to
and
that.
you let her sleep next to you.
Yeah, she probably cleans it a little bit better though than Moose. Probably just
no, they wipe down. Don't you guys hose down Moose's butthole all the time?
I mean, yeah, we.
I mean, that's right. That's what you do.
Holds in, one of them sprays the full pressure nozzle.
That's 100% what they do. I've seen it.
It's shocking but exhilarating.
Yeah, I'm just used to it. It's so funny because like we had him since he was little, so it's like things that we did with him.
He's huge now.
I know exactly. He's so big now. I mean, to be fair, he went from 2 pounds to 5 pounds. Like that's pretty big increase.
That's impressive growth.
Yeah.
Good structure.
Like, there's just certain things we would do with him when he was little that like he's just so numb to now that he's like, oh, I guess this is normal. But like us cleaning his butt, he's just like, yeah, he never even freaks out. The water hits him, he's just like, all right, this is happening. But then like the way if he's acting out, I just pick him up and I just hold him up and he shuts the fuck up and he just kind of chills. And it's just because we like Andy's seen it.
That's I've done it to him. I've done it to him.
Yeah. He just chills.
Like, all right, cool. I went to Tim's to watch a movie one time, like back when I don't know what movie it was. But yeah, if he starts to get yappy and he starts to get bitey and he's like going after my hands or going after, the cufflinks on my hoodie or whatever, trying to bite that cloth or whatever, just pick him up and he just kind of like
goes daddy
like he took a drug or something.
I mean, think about this. Think about if something like 10 times your size just picked you up. You'd be like, well, my options, touche. You know what I mean? That's the Queen's Gambit right there.
That's the Queen's Gambit. Oh, Lord. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Kinda Funny podcast. Remember that each and every week, 4, sometimes 5 best friends gather around these microphones. I have official confirmation that, yes, WWE superstar Xavier Woods is joining us for the Kinda Funny podcast, the second one of the week. That's recording on Thursday. You can go to patreon.com. Isn't that right? Yeah, Thursdays, right? I got that right? Feels weird. It's right, though. Thursday, right?
It goes live Friday.
Yeah, okay. So you can go to patreon.com/kindafunny. You can watch live. Of course, you can get the show ad free there. Of course, you can get it with the exclusive post show we're about to do right now. So head on over there and do it. However, if you don't want to spend any bucks on us, we totally understand. You go to youtube.com/kindafunny, roosterteeth.com, and podcast services around the globe each and every week to get 2 brand new spanking episodes that, of course, have ads and no post show, but it's still a pretty good deal. Until next time, we got a post show to do. It's been our pleasure to serve you.